All right, so welcome everyone. Thank you again for joining today. We're going to go ahead and get started. So during this event, we are going to be discussing how to build your dream career as we build dream homes. So we are a luxury home builder looking for the best upcoming talent. As you learn about our business and opportunities, you'll also hear from our employees about what makes our company culture the best. All right, so welcome again. My name is Haley Spicer. I am the University and Diversity Recruiter for Toll Brothers, and I will be one of the moderators for this virtual event. A little bit about me. I have been with Toll Brothers for a little over 5 months now. I started on the recruiting team and not too long ago moved over to manage the college recruiting program. It has been a lot of fun getting the opportunity to talk with so many of students and that are interested in the real estate industry. So now I'm going to pass it over to our Vice President of Talent Acquisition, Mike Patchke.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Patchke. I'm the Vice President of Talent Acquisition. Been with the company for 20 years, always in a recruiting capacity. I just want to give you a quick overview of Toll Brothers, who we are as an organization. Toll Brothers is actually one of the top publicly traded home builders in the country. We were founded in 1967 by Bob and Bruce Toll, the brothers, predominantly a Southeast PA builder, focusing in the Northeast, and then have expanded over the years, over our 50+ year history, to go coast to coast. And we now operate in 24 states and a little over 60 real estate markets. We do have a brand. We're one of the few publicly traded builders that has a brand. We're America's luxury home builder. We focus towards a very specific clientele, niche market. Our average sales price hovers around $800,000. But it is production building. We are not a custom home builder. It is pure residential production home building. So you see, one of the reasons that we're a builder of choice, not only from a consumer standpoint, but also from a employment standpoint, is we have a very diverse geographic footprint because we build in 60 real estate markets. So we're not just tied to one city, one town, and hope that does well in good and bad times. We're very geographically diverse. We also have a very geographic product offering. Right, so we cater towards the urban, suburban markets, luxury move up, the empty nesters, active adults, and we also have a very robust department called apartment living, where we focus on not the for rent market. So again, diverse product line and diverse geographic footprint allows us to be one of the top builders in the country. And whether good and bad times that happen within the real estate world. So moving on to the next slide, why are we here today? Right, we are all about early career. If you look at our two of our top people, Doug Yearley, our CEO, and Rob Powerhouse, our Chief President and Chief Operating Officer, both who have been with the company over 20+ years, they started off as an entry level. Right, they started as assistant project managers out in the field, learning how to build houses and operate communities. So our mission as an organization is to try to find talent early in their career and help develop that talent and engage them as an employee base and retain them so that you literally build your entire career with us. So we have partnered with Way Up. So we will talk about early career opportunities, but more importantly, also talk about internships. We've been, in years past, have created internship programs as a way to identify talent, let you see us, who we are as an organization, us get a chance to see who you are, and if it works out, offer you a full-time opportunity employment. So all of our internships will be posted on Way Up. You can also go to our Career Center to see any of those opportunities, which are posted now and will continue to be posted over the next several weeks. So what we're going to do then is we're going to talk about the home building process. Right, I'm going to pass it back to Haley, but we're going to go through where do these opportunities exist. Right, home building is a very sophisticated, and when you talk about residential development as a whole, is a very sophisticated business. And it all fundamentally starts with land acquisition. How do we buy the right piece of land? How do we plan out a community? And then once we get that community, how do we move the earth from a land development standpoint? How do we purchase trades and labor and materials, sales and closing to make sure we get our buyers to the settlement table? How do we physically build the houses? And then obviously warranty, customer care, passing it on to them. And at the end of the day, we're a publicly traded company. So we do have to look at the financials and look at how divisional accounting can support us on that. So pass it over to Haley to go through each of these disciplines.
All right, so starting with land acquisition. So the number one raw material we own is land. And how do we buy land, you may ask? So we're at Toll Brothers at the corner of Main Street and Main Street, meaning we want to be in the most desirable locations. We don't buy land just to buy land. It's all about location. So when we decide on land, our land acquisition team discusses cost, overhead, profitability, and investment. And they're responsible for looking for land in all the right places. So when it comes to real estate, there's no more sound advice than it's all about location, location, location. Toll Brothers has established a reputation for building in some of the most sought after locations in the country, from Orange County, California to New York City. Buyers seek out homes because they want to, be right in that spot, which is where we build them. To find the quality in the land and the right location, we're always on the lookout for great land where we can develop our next luxury community. So often we're asked what we look for in prospective land purchase, and according to our land acquisition managers, it's important to take the following into consideration during the process. So first up is zoning. It's important to know how land can and cannot be used based on zoning approvals. So Toll Brothers is usually looking for single family homes, townhomes, condo flats, and active adult communities, as well as rental housing or student housing in areas that can accommodate to luxury developments. Also acquisition of existing projects. Sometimes circumstances change for builders and developers, and there's a need for another to kind of come in and take the reins. And Toll Brothers will buy approved projects currently in the approval process, and properties which require planning board approvals. With rare exception, Toll Brothers is not looking for properties which require zone change to residential. Next is purchasing. It helps to know how we purchase the properties on which we build. So Toll Brothers purchase properties on a per lot or per unit basis, as opposed to per acre, and only closes after subdivision or site plan approvals have been obtained. And lastly, we have out of the box opportunities. So sometimes it takes a keen eye or creative thinking to see potential in available land, but that can lead to some interesting and exciting projects. So if you know of like a golf course or gardening center, or maybe like a beach or yacht club that is going out of business, or maybe even a corporate headquarters or office complex that has, recently closed down, Toll Brothers might be interested. So looking at the slide, you can see some of the majors and skill sets we target for land acquisition roles, and early career opportunities that could fall into this phase would be an internship in land acquisition or a land acquisition analyst. After land acquisition, we have community planning and marketing. So community planning, which is the startup phase where we work on the implementation and business plans for the land and how we're going to get everything ready for sale. This includes thinking about buyer profiles, which leads into how we are going to market the community. Our marketing experts then help prepare materials and develop plans for how we will attract our buyers. Our marketing team asks questions like, who is our demographic? Who are we selling to? And how are we going to decorate the model home? We want to make sure that we're, marketing the community correctly to attract our buyers. Early career opportunities within community planning could be a community planning internship or a project manager in community planning as well. And for marketing, some early career opportunities could be an email marketing internship, merchandising internship, or a marketing management internship as well. Next up in the process, we have land development, which we also like to refer to as moving the earth, because technically they are. Land development is the process of converting raw land into construction-ready property. So during this process, our land development team takes care of all the improvements before a house can even be built. So during this process, our team is responsible for estimating, budgeting, development, and dedication of site improvements for the communities we build. how we like to think of it as is they take care of all of the underground or horizontal construction rather than the vertical construction of building the home up. They're responsible for things like developing access roads, walkways, landscaping, drainage and canal systems, and external lights such as street lamps. Within land development, some early career opportunities would be a land development internship or an assistant land development manager. Next up, we have purchasing. Our purchasing team is responsible for the procurement process. This means they ensure the supply of goods, production, materials, and equipment so that a smooth production and sales process can take place. Our purchasing team works directly with our subcontractors and negotiates with trade partners on a regular basis on buying materials. I would say a big benefit of being within purchasing is learning more so of the business side of home building, not just how the home is being built, but kind of learning everything that takes place before you can even start to dig. So for anyone who may be interested more on the business side of purchasing, this might be the career for you. Early career roles within purchasing would be a purchasing intern or a purchasing coordinator. After purchasing, we have sales. Our sales team's job is to sell to our buyers. In sales, it's really important to know your buyers and understand their wants, their needs, their dreams, and then figuring out how we can deliver that to them. Our sales consultants promote the sale of our newly built homes or available properties to clients. In this career, some of your responsibilities would include showcasing floor plans, development lots, leading tours of our new model homes and explaining their features, and making sure the property is presentable for all showings, as well as serving as the main point of contact to deliver luxury customer experience from a customer's first visit through their move-in. Some early career opportunities within sales could be a sales associate intern or sales associate. And now to the next process, we have construction. Some exciting things happen in here. So after the necessary pre-construction processes are completed, now we can finally start to build the home. So our assistant construction managers and construction managers are in charge of scheduling subcontractors, ordering materials, and making sure all of those materials are being delivered to the right spot. The construction process is where our customers start to see their dream home come to life. They will have different opportunities to go through different walkthrough phases of their home and see the progress and watch everything come together. I would like to point out too, the photo on the bottom right is actually one of our assistant construction managers interns we had last summer. He was able to get real hands-on experience at one of our beautiful communities in North Carolina. As you can see on the slide, candidates who are majoring in construction or building management or civil and mechanical engineering could have an early career opportunity within construction as an assistant construction manager. Next up, we have a design studio. This is where our customers will be able to see, touch, and select all of their personalized elements of their home. At Toll Brothers, we're committed to ensuring that the homes we build reflect our customers' personal style. So we've teamed up with some of the most talented design consultants around the country to help guide through the process of planning and selecting even the smallest details of our customers' new home room by room. So some early career opportunities within Design Studio would be a Design Studio intern or a Design Studio assistant. All right, so that wraps up the home building process. Just a little information about that. We do have time to ask questions at the end, but I know I just threw a lot at you. So if you want to start sending questions in the chat about anything in the home building process, we'll make sure we get those answered for you. Now we are going to introduce the panel that we have with us today. So first up, we have Grant Devlin. Grant, thanks so much for joining us today. If you could give us a little introduction and tell us, a little bit about your position at Toll Brothers.
Yeah, thanks, Haley. So my name is Grant Devlin. I am in the land acquisition department as a land acquisition analyst down here in Dallas, Texas. As you see on the screen, I attended the University of Alabama from 2016 to 2020. Before starting full-time with Toll, I did 3 internships with Toll during the summer between each of my years of college, so the summer between freshman and sophomore, and then thereon. My first internship was with construction management, and then it was project management. Third one was an introduction into the land acquisition side, and I fell in love with it, pitched to our management group here that I would love to join on full time, and here we are.
Awesome. Thanks, Grant. Would you be able to tell us a little bit about, what makes you proud to work at Toll Brothers?
The people are by far the best part about working here. I've never met a single person, whether that's in the office, out in the field, that has a negative attitude about the day. Everyone always is friendly, greets you with a smile, and most importantly, everyone is willing to help. So during each internship, especially during my first one, I couldn't say I knew a whole lot about the construction process, but between the construction managers and the project managers and all the trades, even that work with us out in the field, everyone is very helpful, willing to teach to the best of their abilities. And we work with some of the greatest professionals in the real estate industry in all facets of our business. So everyone is just a fountain of knowledge, and it's great to learn from all of them.
Well said. Thank you. All right. Next up, we have Madison. Hi, Madison. Thanks so much for joining us. Would you be able to give us a little introduction as well?
Hi, I'm Madison. I went to Colorado State University, and I interned at Toll Brothers my senior summer. And I was offered a full-time position. I did land development as my internship. I was offered a full-time job as an assistant land development manager right after, and I took it because I enjoyed the people and I enjoyed learning more about something that brings people happiness and a future home. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. What would you say, maybe what sticks out about Toll Brothers culture?
It's kind of like a work hard, play hard atmosphere. We do fun things as well as work really hard. Everyone wants to make the customer happy here. And then we also want to enjoy each other's company. So it's like a family. We do a lot of fun things. So
Awesome. Sounds good. I would agree. All right. Next up, we have Andrew.
Hello, I'm Andrew. I'm currently a purchasing intern, and I've been here for about 6 months. I just graduated from the University of Reno, Nevada. And a fun fact is that I've been skiing since I was 3 years old.
Awesome. Sounds good. I know we talked about that too, because I'm a skier myself, but I'm sure you're way better than me. If you could tell us, I know you're a current intern now with our purchasing team. Why did you choose to intern at Toll Brothers?
I chose to intern with Toll Brothers because my interest in the home building process. From a young age, I was always helping my father do repairs and remodels on houses and stuff. And the high reputation Toll has in my community, I thought it'd just be a great place to intern.
Awesome. And what has been your favorite thing about your internship so far?
My favorite thing is definitely the people that I work with. They're like the most fun and helpful people that you'll ever meet. I love the events and the camaraderie that we have in the office. And it's a great place to work.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear it. All right. Kara, you're next up.
Hi, everybody. I am CARA, and I am an assistant construction manager here at Toll Brothers. I've been with Toll Brothers for about 8 months. I did not intern with Toll Brothers at all. I graduated in December, and I started working with Toll Brothers in March. My fun fact is my cousin, his name is Brandon Blackwood, and he named a bag after me.
Awesome. I love that fun fact. That's awesome. What makes you proud to work here, Kara?
Aside from the people here, I would say the product. Being in the field every day, I get to work hands-on and be a part of building many people's first homes, and just being able to go through that process from beginning to end and handing over keys and everything like that. It's really fulfilling.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear it. All right, and our final panelist, we have Quinn with us here today. Quinn, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Haley. Hello, everyone. I'm Quinn Burroughs. Seems like I've been here almost the longest, with 10 years, almost in December, with Toll Brothers as a sales consultant. I started out my tenure here as a sales assistant in 2012 in the Bucks Montgomery division. Still in the Bucks Montgomery division here. Now I'm at the North Bank community in the city of Philadelphia, which is not too far from my alma mater, Temple University, where I graduated back in 2005. Really aging myself. And fun fact about me, of course, I'm addicted to all Real Housewives. And yeah, I just, have really enjoyed the opportunity to work with Toll Brothers over the last 10 years. Have met a lot of great people, have sold a lot of homes, and made a lot of people very excited about building a Toll Brothers home. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Quinn. A quick question for you. What has been maybe one of your favorite fun toll events that you've attended, or maybe a favorite toll memory in general?
We had, when I first started, the first few years or so, we always did like grand opening events for Toll Brothers, where every time a community opened, the model homes, we would do like a big grand event. So when you have your model homes or clubhouse grand openings, it was so much fun. We got to plan it. We got to have all the toll employees come, design studio, realtors, and just showcase your model homes. So that was always my favorite events to go to and to host as well. So yeah, I would say grand opening events.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. All right, so I did see a couple questions come through. I will open this one up to the panel as well. So the first question we had was, why does Toll Brothers buy land on a per lot purchase rather than a per acre?
So when we are looking at a potential land deal, the way our pro forma works that allows us to make business decisions, utilizing our hurdle rates that we're aiming for when we send packages up to corporate. Everything kind of just eventually falls down to a per lot. So when our land acquisition managers are talking to a seller, they could be giving us an overall price on the property on a per acre basis. And then when it gets to me at an analytical standpoint, I'm working on turning that land and making basically a mock community. I have a set number of lots based on a community layout that we've had an engineering group look at. So if we're working with 100 lots, then our price just falls now down to what we're paying per lot. And we talk about whether it's a per lot price, per front foot price, depending on how wide each lot is. It just varies, but that's kind of how it narrows down by the time it gets to me.
Awesome. Thank you, Grant, for answering that. All right, next question we had here, which I will open it up again, is what are challenges that Toll Brother faces being a publicly traded company to being private?
I'll take that one. While there's some challenges, we've Doug Yearley, our CEO, and Bob Toll, our former CEO and founder of the company, they've been asked this, and the benefits of being publicly traded outweigh those of being private. While the hurdles are when you're publicly traded, you have to quarterly announce your results and earnings and income and future sales and stuff like that. Private, you don't have to do it. But the major benefit of being a publicly traded builder is you have access to more capital, right? That because people see your books, they see who you are as an organization. You just have a different level of access to capital from the investor community. So when we talk about buying land and the diversification of Toll Brothers from a geographic footprint and a product line, some deals get very big, right? It's Grant, while he deals in Dallas, some of our projects in like a New York City can get very hefty in a price point for just to purchase the land. So instead of Toll Brothers maybe just writing a check, you're going out to the investor community, maybe doing a joint venture partnership. So it just you just have more accessibility to cash and being publicly traded than you do private.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. We had this question come in as well. Grant, I don't know if you want to take this one. Someone asked, what are some of the day-to-day responsibilities for a land acquisition analyst intern?
Yeah. So primarily, I work in 2 Excel worksheets, the pro forma and what we call the comp. So the pro forma is going to be the tool that we use to analyze the deals, and I put in basically all of the terms of the deal, and with that we have to get creative, and we use pricing that varies per market and submarket of Dallas. Product, Dallas has many different product lines that we have to use. And then the comp on the other side of that, we have, so in order to prove up our pricing, because all of our land deals need to be approved by corporate, we have to submit also a comp which shows our pricing compared to other builders' pricing in that same area and potential competing communities that are going to be around us when we do, if we buy the land. So those are the 2 major things. Outside of that, we've got meetings that are happening on a weekly basis. We also work hand in hand with a lot of other areas of Tulsa. We work with land development. They'll provide us budgets if we're looking at buying raw land. We work with community planning when it gets to the end of the land purchase process, and we're eventually going to hand it off to them, and they start the opening process of the community. So yeah, those are a few of the day-to-days of what a land acquisition intern would look like.
I think it would also be beneficial to go through our other panelists. Like Cara, give us like what is a day in the life like as an ACM for us?
A day in the life as an ACM, it honestly varies every day. I never have the same day twice. I start my day around, call it 8 o'clock. And the first thing I do when I get on site is walk all of my buildings. I'm currently in a community and I have 30 lots. So currently I just go in, I walk my buildings, I write down, anything that I see that needs to be fixed. If I have a plumbing leak, I'll write that down. And then once I finish walking all my buildings, I'll start to call people who I need to come in, fix anything. And then from that, it is putting out little fires for the rest of the day. I'm pretty much a problem solver and I answer anybody's questions on site. If there's anything immediately that's going on, that's where I step in. But for the most part, my days are pretty chill. They're pretty laid back.
Quinn, how about you? Day in the life of being a salesperson at Toll Brothers.
Yeah, absolutely. So we open up a model home. Normally our days are 11 to 6, but then in the wintertime it's 10 to 5. So you are opening your models, you are on the front line, so everything needs to look pristine. When people come in, you may have appointments during the day that online sales could set up for you, or you could have realtor events that you have, or realtor showings that come in during the day. So mainly you're, walking your clients through the model homes, you're going out on site, walking them through houses. You're going through any sales processes that you have with contracts and things like that. You're also on the phones, calling buyers that are already in backlog, giving them updates on the status of their home. And then like I said, you could be, prospecting with realtors, going out to meet realtors, bringing realtors here to have events. So every day is a little different, but you are in the sales office and you're handling the sales process the whole day.
Andrew, day in the life of a purchasing intern, kind of stuff do you do?
So a day in the life as a purchasing intern, there's always like contracts that need to be done, extra purchase orders that need to be put into the system so everything gets paid properly. You might be setting up a new vendor or making sure their insurance is up to date. It's like a bunch of just making sure pricing is correct for lots of like everything in the home building process, from drywall to framing. You're just figuring it all out, making sure pricing is correct, and yeah, it's pretty great.
And last but not least, Madison.
Yeah, every day is completely different. I start my day by driving my site and making sure contractors showed up to work, and then making phone calls if anything seems out of the norm or wrong. And then the rest of the day could be answering emails, bidding out plans for contracting, just calling contractors, fighting fires, all of the different things that could happen.
What kind of contractors are you working with?
Heavy civil. So we're doing heavy earthwork, and then utilities, all your water, sewer, storm, and then landscaping, and asphalt, and we can also do street lights, depending on the subdivision.
Have you ever had to use dynamite?
No, not yet. We don't
But
have a lot of rocky soil, like hard rock in Colorado. I think that's more of an Arizona thing.
So you will see some communities, you know, again, Toll Brothers builds at the corner of Main Street, desirable locations. Doesn't mean the earth is always just soil, right? That we can,
No.
there are projects that we have out in California, Arizona, where we have cut into the side of mountains using dynamite, right? Like, yeah, being a land development manager can be a very interesting position, that it's not just heavy civil, but there's some complex projects that we get involved in that can just create some challenges, fun challenges, right? That's why we're here, is to solve the fun problems. But how can I cut a road into a mountain, right? Figure that one out. Pass back to
Awesome.
you, Haley,
Thanks,
for questions.
everyone. We had a couple similar questions like this come in. Patchke, I will move this over to you, and anyone else in the panel that would like to answer as well. But how does Toll Brothers see itself maneuvering in the future, given the economy's supply chain issues and rise in inflation? And how are these factors impacting the day-to-day for different departments?
Supply chains continues to be an issue. If you haven't, I would highly recommend reading our third quarter, and in a couple months we'll come out with our fourth quarter earning results, because it's something that the investment community does talk about. I think the supply chain at some point here will start to just get back to normal. Inflation on another, on the other hand, high interest rates. We've had this pent up demand over time. I don't want to bore you with macroeconomic factors of why the real estate market is still on good footing. It's just we've now seen interest rates over the last year go from 3 to 6, and historically 6, or a little bit north of 6, historically over 40-50 years, is still a very good interest rate when talking about purchasing a home. It's just right now we just got to get back to what quote unquote what is normal, and get the buyer comfortable with what that interest rate is. There is still a shortage, right? You can read this out online. There is a shortage of homes out there on the market. There's a low supply rate of homes, and right now it's just going to slow down the process a little bit. Buyers are just going to be wait and weather and see what's going on in the economy. How is what's going on with inflation? Gas prices are high interest rates. I'll pause for right now. So I can't predict the future. If I did, I wouldn't be at Toll Brothers. I'd be a very rich person. But there's a lot of factors to point to that. We know real estate is cyclical. It goes up, it goes down. Some crashes and some troughs are longer than others, but there's still a lot of good economic foundation for why real estate is a good career to pick.
Awesome, thank you. I know I saw a couple of questions about internships. I know Mike had mentioned it earlier, but all of our internships will be posted on our Toll Brothers career page. You'll be able to read about our internships and look up internships. I know we have a couple positions posted now, but we will continue to keep posting internships within the next couple weeks, and feel free to apply to anything that you see fit. I would say another big thing is location. So we will pay you for the internship, but unfortunately we do not pay for housing or relocation costs for interns. Our ideal candidate is, going to have friends or family in that location where the position is located. So we would like the living situation to be established, so you don't have to worry about, spending your paycheck on, relocating or, living expenses over the summer, because we know how expensive that can be. So we did have one question, Madison, for land development. What's, some advice for someone coming into the field that's, new for them?
I think a really good quality to have in land development is the ability to adapt. Every person that you meet, every contractor is going to be different, and the way that they manage or communicate with you. So being able to deal with that is something that you should come into it with.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
then being able to foresee problems ahead of time. I think that's something that's really helpful.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you. We had this question just come in, said that this is for every panelist, but maybe what's one of the greatest challenges you faced in your role, and how did you overcome it?
For me, deadlines are really hard. With land development, you have to fight the weather and you need to deliver a lot to the vertical guys before they need them, so that they're not behind in building their houses. So I'd say dealing with the weather holding me back.
To add to that, in, I guess, land acquisition, I don't know if it's the greatest challenge, but in the short thought, not every deal is going to work. So the ability to get creative is really important, especially during conversation between analysts and the land acquisition managers. There are opportunities where the seller is flexible or open to negotiation. So figuring out how to make the deal work, if Toll really wants to be in it, it's a desirable location and it checks all the boxes in that way. Just getting creative with financials and product and pricing is also another challenging day-to-day type of thing.
For me, I would say some challenges that I have with what I do, I would definitely say deadlines as far as delivering our homes to our homeowners. And I would say the supply chain. We at Toll Brothers, what I can say something that sets us different from a lot of other builders is we do homeowner calls. We make sure our homeowners are very involved in the whole process of getting their home built. And because of supply chain, there are a lot of times that we have to push deadlines back, we have to push closings back, and it frustrates people. And also because of supply chain, we have to stay on top of our schedule because our schedule could change at any moment. And you have some trades who are like a month out, you have some trades who are 2 months out. So you have to stay on top of that type of stuff to make sure you're scheduling things adequately.
I'd like to build off of that with the supply chain and purchasing. We have that problem as well, and it's like right now we're having a huge problem with windows and trying to find like windows for our houses. And I think how we overcome that is through like problem solving skills and being able to obtain windows from like other vendors and being able to be flexible on that end. So I think that's probably our biggest challenge as well.
Yeah, and just to build off of what everyone was saying, in sales, we again are the ones that have built the relationship with the buyers and take them through the sales process. So when we run into challenges with if houses are going to be delayed or things happen on that end, we are the ones that need to relay the information to the buyers. So we have to stay positive all the time and make sure that they are up to date and up to speed on what's happening. So again, it makes for a great customer experience for them. So we have to adapt anytime there are any delays. We have to adapt when we have any issues with the market. So just staying positive and making sure that, again, our customers are number one and they are going to enjoy the whole sales process.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. I did see a couple questions come through that I can answer. So someone asked about sponsorship. So I believe we have done it in the past, but unfortunately right now we cannot provide any sponsorships at this time. So that'll answer a couple questions. And then we also did have a question about possible management associate roles. So the management associate role is a 9 to 12 month course. You'll be able to get experience and a bunch of different developments, and be able to have a couple weeks maybe in community planning and a couple weeks within sales, to try to figure out where exactly you can see yourself once the program is over. So I do help cover the management associate roles across the country. So I work with each division on what they're looking for. It is very unique. I would say there's no really like ideal candidate on paper. It's going to have to do with previous experience, or your education. So maybe you have a master's in real estate development, or a master's of construction, or even just an MBA, but you're interested in the real estate industry. It really just comes down to that. Or maybe you're involved in clubs or real estate club within your community, and just kind of like showing us that you're interested in the industry. You could be considered for the management associate program.
The key we look for in a management associate is, as well as everything else, is you have to want to be a home builder, right? If you want to be an assistant construction manager, you want to be an assistant land development manager, or whether you get into land acquisition or you get into a management associate, real estate is a very broad term. We're a home builder, and you've got to, like Madison said, when it rains, it's muddy. when it snows, it's cold, right? And you're dealing with a lot of these factors, and that's what we have seen success in. People that have come into the organization, whether it's been through land development or assistant construction manager or the management associate program. It's the passion to be a home builder, to not only put some deals together, and there are roles that are office based, but these roles here, this is out in the field, and you've got to love what you're doing out there, because it's going to be challenging work. But at the end of the day, you are physically able to show your friends, your family, and future generations what you have built. That house is going to stand there for the test of time. So you will drive by communities, and you often hear a lot of our senior leaders talk about driving by communities, wondering if, Mr. and Mrs. Jones are still living in that house that they sold and built for them 20, 30 years ago. Right. And that's what we're looking for, is a little bit of that X factor of wanting to be a home builder, and have a lot of, and when you talk to our employees, they're going to talk to you about how proud they are to work at this organization, and they're proud of the product that we deliver. It's what separates us from all the other home builders out there. We are America's luxury home builder. We build fantastic product. It's not your cookie cutter track home, same model right down the street. Elevations are different. Floor plans, base price, base floor plan is going to be the same, but all the structural options, and like Haley said when she talked about the design studio, the fine details that a buyer can choose is what truly separates us from the rest of the pack. It's why the buyers come work for us. It's why employees come work for this organization, because it's just a different level of product and opportunity that we offer individuals.
Awesome. Thank you. Cara, we had a question come in for you, and I know you might have touched on it a little bit, but someone asked about your internship experience and how it was, coming into Toll Brothers as an assistant construction manager, maybe kind of walking through what those first couple of months look like.
So like I said, I wasn't an intern. I came straight from college. Those first couple of months were kind of hectic, honestly. I was put on a project by myself. So fresh out the water. I didn't really have a lot of experience in construction. So it was definitely nerve-wracking, but I enjoyed it just for the simple fact that I felt like I learned so much, doing so much at such like a short amount of time. But I will say I had a lot of support. I love the Atlanta Urban team. They made sure that anything that I needed, they provided me with. I never felt like I couldn't ask anybody any questions. If I needed to call somebody within the next couple of minutes, somebody would be there to help me. So I felt very supported through it all.
Awesome. Thank you. We did have this question come in, which I thought was great. Besides the people, what would some of the panelists say is a distinguishable trait or advantage of Toll Brothers? Personally, what makes coming to work feel like work and enables you to love and take pride in what you do?
I can start off with that one, having been here 20 years. Obviously it's the people, right? I enjoy all the people that I work with, but it's truly the work. That Toll Brothers is an organization that if you come in, work hard, we'll give you opportunity, right? If you raise your hand and say, you know what, I'm interested in learning more about that, we'll give you that opportunity. And what I think makes us a unique organization is we are this large publicly traded entity. We're a Fortune 500 brand named company. There's a reason that people go to work for Toll Brothers. There's a reason that people go work for Apple, Google, Amazon, great brands, recognizable. What separates us from them is we're a little over 5,000 employees nationwide. So I forget which panelist talked about it. I think it was Madison, maybe talked about family. Everybody kind of gets to know everybody. So you have the opportunity in front of you to make your work impactful. There's not a lot of us. So when you make a mistake, that's okay. Make the mistake, learn from it, don't make it again. But you also have that opportunity to succeed, where you're given the project, like CARA said, I'm on this site, I'm by myself, I got to figure it out. And she's going to go out and she's going to conquer the world and she's going to build that house and she's going to be proud of the product that she delivered. She was given that opportunity to shine because there's only so many of us. So I think that's what's kept me here 20 years. I like that pressure. From a recruiting standpoint, from a talent acquisition standpoint, I either fill the job or I don't fill the job. And I like that the work that I do is very impactful to the organization, and you see it. And senior leadership sees the work that you're doing. You got to come in and work hard. Because I always tell people, if you don't want to work hard, then we're not the company. Because there's not a lot of us. We can find it very quickly.
I think it's really cool to see just raw land turn into a whole community. Seeing it finished is really, really, really awesome because they're beautiful communities.
Something I would say that makes us distinguishable away from other builders and just as Toll Brothers is, aside from the people and the product, I would say our process with our home buyers, because I meet people who have bought with other builders before and they always say they think it's amazing how involved we allow them to be. We do something we call pre-drywall walks. So we do pre-construction meetings where we kind of introduce them to Toll Brothers. They get to meet the team. They get to kind of see more of their design picks and everything like that. And then when we're like right before drywall, we call them back out and we have them, they get to walk the site and they get to walk their actual lot and they get to see it before the walls are put on or before it's like an actual complete home. And we call them, like I said earlier, we call them every Wednesday. We give them homeowner updates every week. So they get to be very hands-on. They get to ask questions. They're not only connecting with us as the construction team, they're connecting with sales, they're connecting with everybody. So I just think that makes us stand out.
Absolutely. I actually just wanted to touch on that as well. I'm just so proud to say that I work for Toll Brothers over the last 10 years. I had just had this conversation with one of our senior leaders in the marketing department, and she said, wow, over 10 years, I'm sure you've seen a lot of communities open and communities close. And I've been experiencing so many different openings of communities and closings of communities. And I actually take my daughter to some of the communities just to show her, the different houses that I've sold, and the communities that I've been a part of. And it's interesting how I have sold to many different family members. So I had a community where I sold to a couple, an active adult, and then a couple years later, I was moved to another community and I sold to their daughter. And then a few years after that, I sold to their other daughter. So I see that progress of how, people love the Toll Brothers brand, and they will rant and rave about Toll Brothers and the product that they receive and how we build it. And there will be many, many repeat toll homeowners as well. When you're working in active adult, you will see that people have bought 2, 3, 4 Toll Brothers homes. So that definitely has a lot to say about Toll Brothers and the brand.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. I'd also like to say I know Toll Brothers just does a wonderful job at, providing opportunities for you to grow, and, gain experience in your career to get to the goals that you've set for yourself. So, that's also why I chose to work here. There's just a ton of opportunity for you to grow. And, there's so many avenues for you to go down. You're not just, stuck in one position. There's so many different, routes you can go down to, get to those goals that you want to. So, there's times where, we have a new position open and we'll, post those jobs internally as well. So, all of our employees have the opportunity to apply, whether it's, someone who has been with a company for 1 year or maybe 10 years. So, we make sure our employees don't feel like they're, siloed into one area of the company. There's, a ton of opportunity for everyone here. One question I have, what would some advice be to someone that's, new within the real estate industry?
You know what, coming into the industry in real estate, you just got to be motivated and be ready and willing to learn as much as you can. And Toll Brothers is a great place to do that. As you can see, there's a lot of people that are here to help you and to really motivate you to move forward in the industry. It is, again, can be, great days and bad days. But there's a huge reward at the end when you're able to sell a house and make someone's dream of home ownership become a reality. So I think we have a great team and a lot of people in place to help you succeed in your career.
My advice would be the ability just to be adaptable and be able to pivot quickly. Like Quinn said, there's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days, there's going to be good weeks, there's going to be bad weeks, months, right? So just the ability to move with the changes that often happen in the real estate industry, specifically the residential world, right? Things can move very quickly. It can turn negative one day, but then it can be very positive the next. So just being able to be adaptable and move with the changes.
I would say being willing to being creative and also being willing to trying anything. I would say Toll Brothers is a very large company, and I believe there's an opportunity here for everybody. And I feel like being able to just venture out and kind of getting your niche for things and being able to feel things out is a great opportunity here. And just being able to, like everybody else has been saying, adapt, because you are going to have good days, you are going to have bad days. You might come on site and everything might be going wrong, or you might come on site and everything is going fine. And, you just have to be able to adjust to that and be able to come up with those problems. And whenever you do have problems, be able to solve them.
I guess my advice would be to never stop learning and never close off the opportunity to learn. There are so many aspects in the real estate industry that you never know you'll need one day. So especially within Toll, every single conversation that you have with anybody will and could possibly benefit your career going forward. So that would be my advice. Never stop learning.
Awesome. Well, I know we have about a minute left, so just wanted to thank everyone again for joining our virtual event today with Way Up. It's been great. Thank you to our panelists. Thank you for joining and sharing all of your toll stories and advice. And a big thank you to Way Up for putting this event together for us. We hope that you guys all learn more about Toll Brothers and how you can build your dream career with us. My information is on the slide there, so feel free to reach out to me, connect with me on LinkedIn as well as the panelists we had on here today. But hope you all have a great evening and looking forward to connecting with all of you.